Hi folks, how are you? Welcome to week 13. Week 13 of these lockdown tutorials. How crazy is that? I can't believe it's been, well, nearly 13 weeks. Madness, madness. How are you all? I'm going to apologise now if any of you hear any crashing, banging or scuttling around. The cats have decided to have a mad half hour at the moment. So please ignore any crashes, bangs or any of the cats going mental. How are you doing? How did you get on? Did anyone do the weekend challenge? Did anyone take 5 minutes? I think I saw Cheryl's. Did anyone take 5 minutes out and draw what they were listening to? Draw the sounds that were going on? Cheryl's one was absolutely fabulous actually. Sometimes we just need that. Sometimes we just need that permission to say, yeah, do you know what? I am going to take 5 minutes out today. I am going to take that time for myself to just relax and calm down. I don't know if you can hear that, but the cats are going nuts. But hello and welcome. Happy Monday. Hope you had a good weekend. So as well as the weekend challenge of taking 5 minutes, I also have done our second 40-minute workshop in the Arty Farty community. So we were doing beetroots and designing them and drawing them and using lots of different mark making for them, which was just fantastic. Was lovely. I had a family quiz as well, which was great. So what else did I do? Oh, I saw my dad this morning for a cup of tea, which was very, very lovely to be able to do. It was really nice. So today you will need, hi Lynn, hi Sue. Today you will need whatever drawing materials you've got. So it doesn't matter. I've got a whole kind of mixture of stuff. So I've got felt tips, I've got pencils, I've got chalks and I've got oil pastels. But it really is, even if you've just got a pencil, that's absolutely fine to join in for today's. It's not a problem at all. And obviously piece of paper as well. Hi Cara, fabulous, joining us all the way from the Philippines. Awesome stuff. What else have I doing? I've kind of been starting to plan to reopen the studio as well, which probably won't be till the beginning of August. But yeah, I've kind of been planning that a little bit. So it's been actually a surprisingly busy weekend. I'm sure it probably shouldn't have been, but it was. Who have we got? Hi Jenny, hi Vicky, nice to see you guys. Excellent. So today we are starting off our week of creative therapy. Which I know I'm certainly in need of at the moment. I don't know about anyone else. But we're going to be drawing 4 different things today. And we're going to be using that kind of abstract thought of energy. So anybody that joined in the previous therapeutic art week, we thought about how we feel right now and how our energy feels right now. And if that energy was there in front of you, what would it look like? So would it be a particular colour? Would it be kind of soft and floaty? Would your energy be quite flat? Would it be kind of big, bright and bold and loads of energy in it? How would that look if it was directly in front of you? So that's what we're doing today. But we're going to do it slightly differently. So I'm going to show you guys what I'm up to so that you can see. Scroll down a little bit. And hopefully you guys can see that. So the first thing that we're going to do is divide your piece of paper into 4. Now it's entirely up to you if you want to kind of draw a big cross on it to divide it into 4. I'm just going to fold mine and then what I might do is draw the line afterwards just so that you guys can see it from my camera. So I'm just going to fold it in half and open it back up. And then I'm going to fold it in half the other way, squish it a little bit. And open it back up. Hello, Cheryl's Joe. That's fabulous. So I'm going to mark that just so that you guys can see where I'm working within. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to get you to write on. Oh, look at that lovely wobbly line going on there. I'm going to get you to write. Oh, another wobbly line. There we go. In each of those boxes. So in the first one, the top left one, I want you to write before. And in the one next to it, to the right of it, I want you to write during. And then in this one, the bottom left one, I want you to write now. And then in the bottom right one, I want you to write future. There we go. So you should have 4 boxes. I don't know if that comes out as reversed for you. It might come out reversed actually, but it does say before, during, now, and future. Okay, so hopefully you guys have all got that. So we've just kind of split it up into 4. So what I want you guys to do in that first one for before, we're going to kind of focus on lockdown. And I want you to really think about what was your energy like just before lockdown. So just before it kind of came into force and everything was shut down. What was that energy like? Were you already kind of aware of lockdown happening? So I think quite a lot of us kind of thought it was going to happen. We were sort of waiting for the school's announcement. I remember sitting there waiting for that while I was at the studio, about the schools closing, and then I think then that Sunday was basically everything else needs to close. So how did you feel just before? Were you already kind of aware and maybe a little bit anxious about it? Were you kind of completely in your own happy world and oblivious? How are you feeling? Or were you kind of, you knew it was coming, but you were okay with it and you were kind of quite calm? So how does that look on the paper? What colour might you use? Is it quite sharp? Have they kind of got sharp bits in your picture? Is it just a line? Does it take up the whole of that box? Really think about what that energy looks like to you. So I'm going to drop you back down so that you can see what I'm doing, but obviously please don't be swayed by what I'm doing at all. Please do take your own image. There we go. So if I pop that there, then you guys can see what I'm doing. So this is my top left corner, and so I'm just before I kind of knew it was coming, I think. So I kind of had it was like this sort of, I'm going to use some of my chalks, this sort of feeling of dread almost of, what am I going to do? Even though I'd kind of prepared what I was going to do. I knew what I was going to do from the studio point of view. But I think there was this, for me, very much as an extrovert, there was very much this feeling of, oh my goodness, where, you know, I'm not going to be able to go out, I'm not going to be able to see people. So there was this kind of feeling of dread, which was kind of like a sort of a cloud coming over. Doesn't look very cloud-like, does it? But it's sort of coming over, I think. But then underneath, I think actually, at the start of it, I think I generally felt quite calm and prepared. So I think I was actually all right with it at the start. How about you guys? What kind of colours and things? If this doesn't come easily, it might help to just sit and close your eyes for a minute. Because I know that kind of abstract thought of the feeling doesn't always come straight away, does it? Doesn't always ping into your mind straight away. So really think about, like, what did that look like to you? If you can remember that far back as well, is the other thing. So I think underneath I kind of had this sort of excitement, really. It was sort of this buzz that I had underneath of how I was going to change what I was doing with Arty Farty, and I was actually quite excited to be able to get loads of projects done at home, about half of which I've actually done. There we go. So that's my before. I think that was my energy before. So I kind of had this build up of sort of buzz of creativity and energy underneath. And then I actually felt quite prepared and quite calm. But almost like it was kind of inevitable. Do you know, it was this kind of, well, we'll just keep going on. And then this kind of dread that was coming over of the fact that we didn't know at that point when it was even going to be eased, did we? So, how have you guys got on? Is everyone finding that okay? Because I know it can be quite tricky. and it can put you in touch with some feelings that you might not want to think about. So if anyone's finding this really, really difficult, or they're struggling with the kind of maybe emotions or feelings that are coming up, please do message me on Arty Farty Retreat. I'd be very, very happy to message you back. Or if you feel that you just need to stop for a minute, please do stop. Don't feel overwhelmed. But it can be a really, really useful tool to kind of get you in touch with how you're feeling, and especially during something like this, which, you know, we keep hearing on the news that it's unprecedented times. It seems to be the new buzzword. So, you know, it is kind of extremely, extremely surreal that we're going through this kind of piece of history. So this might be quite useful to keep as a kind of check-in of how you were feeling during it. So that's before. The next one we're going to do is during. So how did you feel during lockdown? We're kind of slightly coming out of it now. So how did you feel maybe kind of a couple of weeks ago when we didn't really know when it was going to start shifting? How did you feel during it? Was it kind of quite a nice safe bubble? Was it quite unnerving? Did it get boring? Do you know, what did it look like? Were you quite happy during lockdown? Were there things you missed, or actually was it life as normal? You know, there's been a lot of people who have been working as normal. So what did that look like to you? What colour, what shape? Does it take up the whole box? Does it just take up a bit of it? Have a think about what that looked like. So I'm going to drop you down so you can see mine. But again, please don't be influenced by mine. So during. So I think generally during lockdown there's always this kind of missing people bit, without a doubt. But I think actually generally during lockdown, I've actually been far more creative with things. I've definitely had a big lethargy as well. There was a few weeks there where I really didn't want to do anything and just felt really lethargic. Really didn't even want to do the washing up. How are you guys getting on with this? Do message in the comments if there's any questions you've got about this, or if there's anything that you're kind of not sure about. Do message. I might just put a couple of kind of sparks coming off. And I think there was this real lethargy. I need like a, I don't know, it's a lethargic colour, maybe a brown. It was a real kind of, almost like a sort of sludge I definitely had for a couple of days, or even a couple of weeks. But on the whole, I was quite excited, and I have to tell you guys, you know, as much as, bless you, you've all been so amazing at telling me how much this has meant to you, and that it's kind of kept you interested and kept you going. This has kept me going. So like, you guys have buoyed me up massively during this lockdown. Like, it's been amazing to really connect with you all. Where would we be without technology? Lockdown would be so different. I'd probably get a lot more reading done, but it would be so different without technology. So I've been really grateful as well to be able to kind of connect with you guys through this. So I've got my little fire, I've got my little kind of bit of creativity and that sort of hubbub. And I guess I kind of have felt in a little bit of a bubble as well. Kind of had that safety net, although we were kind of, you know, we were in lockdown and what have you, but actually there has been this sort of safety net, hasn't there? And then there's been this real missing people kind of anger. Couldn't see anyone. So there we go. So that's how I see it. That's how I see that during lockdown. That's what that looked like to me. It's a real mixture, which you wouldn't be surprised over 12 weeks, I guess. So how have you guys got on with that? Are you doing okay? Hopefully. No one's commenting, so I'm assuming you're all really concentrating on what you're doing. So the next box is now. So we're still in a little bit of limbo, aren't we? We're still in that kind of limbo feeling of what's going on. Oh, hello. Ed's just popped his head in. There's still in that kind of limbo feeling of not everything's quite open fully. It's not quite back to how it was. It might never be. There's still that kind of uneasiness feeling. I think a lot of people have. But yeah, so but then there are things still opening up or starting to open up. There's more shops opening. There's more things, like I saw recently, there was a local cricket club and football club who were starting training for youngsters, but socially distanced and like in small groups and things. So things are starting to kind of get going. So how does that make you feel now? How do you feel about lockdown right now at this moment? What does that look like? What kind of colour? What shapes? Is it quite soft? Is it quite a strong feeling? Are you not really sure how you feel about it right now? What does that look like on the page? So that's what we're going to do in our next box. I'm going to drop you guys down again. So this is all about this kind of creative therapy. It's all about using imagery rather than words to describe how we're feeling. So it's not, you don't have to sit there and find the right words or the right vocabulary. It's just using shape and colour to define how you are feeling about lockdown. Well, about anything, obviously. You can use this technique for anything. So I think I still have this kind of bubble around me at the moment, because obviously I haven't fully opened the studio and I'm still not doing very much. A lot of the stuff I'm involved with is still very much online. I'm not doing anything else, but it's brightening up, I think. I'm kind of angry, I have to say. My own personal feelings is that I'm a little bit angry with our government. And how they've actually handled the situation. I know I probably shouldn't get political on here, but just to explain where that anger is coming from, I don't think they've done a great job, and everything's still a little bit up in the air and a bit wishy-washy. So there's this kind of excitement building and this kind of bright future, but then it's kind of stopped and there's still quite a big bubble. And a lot of people aren't really sure, I think, of what's going on. So I'm going to put this kind of blue around, which to me is representing that vagueness that's kind of around at the moment. Because we're not, are we? We're not really sure of what we're doing right now. Blend that purple in a little bit more. There we go. God, I love using chalks, but they are so messy. So I'd say that's probably how I'm feeling right now at this moment. It'll probably change tomorrow. Something else will happen and it'll change. But I think that's how I'm feeling about lockdown at the moment, is there's a lot of confusion still. So how have you guys got on? Are you okay? Are you all good? Are you behind? Are you catching up? It takes a while to get your brain into that kind of abstract thought, I think. It's not the easiest of things to do. So our last box today, is about the future. So this can be short-term future. It could be in the next kind of couple of months. It can be in the long-term future, and you can look forward to kind of next year. That is your choice. It's entirely up to you what you want to focus on for this next box. But what I'm going to ask you to try and imagine how you might feel, or how you want to feel, about lockdown in a couple of months' time or a year's time. How do you think you will feel about it then? Or how would you want to feel about it? How would that look? What would that look like? Would it be a particular colour? Can you think of an emotional word? If you're struggling to kind of picture it as a shape or a colour, can you think of a particular word that describes the emotion, and then think of how you would draw that emotion, that word, because that can be an easy way around of doing this. So I'm going to drop you guys down so you can see what I'm doing as well. There we go. So future, in the future, I'm going to kind of go quite far ahead, I think. I'm going to go into the kind of, like a year's time, I reckon. That's what I'm kind of going to think of. This is how I think I'm going to feel. So I'm hoping that this is going to be, I'm going to look back on this as a massive opportunity. Not just obviously for Arty Farty Retreat, but actually in my own kind of personal life as well. I hope that that I look on this as a big opportunity, and that I have actually kind of done something in lockdown. Whether that's just kind of reflection on myself, or whether that's kind of opportunity for Arty Farty Retreat, or opportunities for myself. So that's how I hope I see it. And I think, you know, I hope I feel in the future that even though it's been via technology, I hope I feel that actually I've made quite a lot of connections with people, and I've connected more than maybe I would have done. So that's how I hope I will feel. These are my connections. These are my... Looks like a little alien. These are my lines connecting me to other people. There we go. And I also hope that actually I feel that things have changed. So I think, you know, the one thing lots of people are saying about kind of being in lockdown and not having to commute to work or do long commutes to work anymore, being able to kind of work from home has been amazing, being able to spend more time with their families at home, all sorts of kind of things. I hope that those things that people have taken from lockdown, whether it's been being more helpful to kind of your neighbours and your, you know, people around you, volunteering for more things, I hope that that stays. So I hope that, not that it's been a waste of time, but I hope that actually it doesn't go quite back to normal. I hope that people have taken something from it. It does look like a weird alien now. So let me hold this up for you guys so you can see. So this is kind of at the beginning of lockdown. This was during. This is right now in this moment. And then this is how I hope I will feel about lockdown in the future. So how have you guys got on? Are you okay? Are you finding this useful? Are you finding this helpful? It can be a really nice way of just checking in with yourself. Actually, how do I feel? And especially, like I said, to keep something like this with all the history that's kind of going on at the moment would be really, really useful to look at, like in years' time, or to explain to children or grandchildren or other people how you felt at the time. So here we are, 13 weeks in, and this is my view of what Corona lockdown has been like. But I hope that people do take something away from lockdown and don't just completely go back to normal. I think a lot of people have found rest time quite useful, and I think just the community aspect of it, everybody helping everyone else, the whole kind of key workers as heroes, or do you use the word heroes gently, but the appreciation for key workers I think has been enormous, and so they should be recognised for that. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. As I said, if there was any kind of overwhelming feelings or anything that came up for you during that, please do just message me on Arty Farty Retreat. Be happy to have a conversation with you. If things feel a little bit overwhelming at the moment, do just throw me a message. Tomorrow you will need paper and pencils, so colouring pencils if possible, and a drawing pencil. as well. And that's all you will need for tomorrow. Paper and pencils. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. I hope you found this really useful and a kind of a good session to check in with yourselves on a Monday. Have a good rest of your afternoon, and I will see you all tomorrow at 2 p.m. See you later, guys. Bye.